You wake up tired, your body feels heavy, and your mind seems lost in a fog. These are not just passing inconveniences, they could be signs that something deeper is holding you back. Stay with me, because the path to relief and renewed energy is closer than you think. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling as if you never truly rested. Your body feels heavy, your thoughts move slowly, and it takes more effort than usual to focus on the simplest tasks. Many people blame stress, lack of sleep, or even aging for these sensations. But what if the root cause is something far more overlooked? What if your liver, one of the most hard-working organs in your body, is quietly signaling that it can no longer keep up with everything you put it through? This idea alone may be surprising, because most of us rarely think about our liver until a doctor mentions it. Yet, the liver is central to energy, mental clarity, and overall vitality. When it struggles, so do we. Here's something I want you to keep in mind. Stay with me until the very end of this journey, because I will share a bonus tip, something simple, natural, and often overlooked, that can multiply the benefits of supporting your liver. Most people don't know about it, and it could be the small change that makes a big difference. But before we reach that, let's understand why these signs, fatigue, heaviness, and brain fog, might be more than passing discomfort. They are the language your body uses to tell you something isn't right. In modern daily life, especially in countries like the United States, we often normalize exhaustion. We joke about needing endless cups of coffee just to get through the day, or about how brain fog is a standard part of office life. But this normalization blinds us to what might be happening beneath the surface. The liver, tasked with filtering toxins, metabolizing nutrients, and keeping the body in balance, can become overloaded without us noticing. Imagine a water filter used day after day without being cleaned or replaced. At first, it works fine, but over time, the water becomes murkier and the flow slows down. Your liver works similarly. When too much builds up, its ability to function smoothly is compromised, and you start to feel it in your energy, in your clarity of thought, and in the heaviness of your body. It is not just about food or drinks. Everyday stress, lack of exercise, exposure to environmental pollutants, and even common medications all pass through the liver. Think about it. From the burger and fries you grab on a busy evening, to the glass of wine you enjoy with friends, to the painkiller you take for a headache, each of these adds to the liver's workload. Alone, they may seem harmless, but together, over time, they create a burden that quietly drains your vitality. That persistent feeling of tiredness, that sense that your body is weighed down, may not be just life. It may be a sign your liver is calling for help. What makes this fascinating is how interconnected the liver is with every other aspect of your health. When your liver struggles, your digestion slows down, your circulation weakens, and even your brain can feel foggy. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you, it is simply sending signals. Learning to listen to those signals is the first step toward real change. Instead of masking the fatigue with caffeine or ignoring the brain fog, imagine what would happen if you supported the root cause. Imagine waking up with lighter energy, sharper focus, and more resilience throughout the day. This is why this conversation matters. It's not about creating fear, it's about awareness. Your body is designed to heal and restore balance when given the chance. And the liver in particular has an amazing ability to regenerate. But ignoring its needs or pushing through the signs comes at a cost. If you've ever thought, "I'm just tired," or "it's normal to feel heavy after a meal," consider that maybe it isn't normal. Maybe your body is inviting you to pay attention. Maybe it is giving you the chance to prevent future complications before they even begin. And here's where things start to get really important. The habits we adopt daily either help or harm the liver. From what we eat and drink to how we manage stress, every choice matters. I'll soon share how these choices, often considered normal in modern culture, are quietly overloading the liver. Once you understand this, you'll never look at your daily habits the same way again. And if you choose to act on this knowledge, you may unlock a new level of energy and clarity you didn't think was possible. So keep this in mind. What feels like a small signal today could grow louder tomorrow if ignored. Supporting your liver is about honoring your health before problems grow deeper. And the next insight I'm going to share is one of the most crucial. Overlooking it won't just limit your results. It could also lead to unpleasant side effects that no one wants to deal with. That's why the next part is so important to hear. When we think about the liver, we often picture it as just another organ tucked away inside the body, working quietly in the background. But what many people don't realize is that this quiet worker is constantly processing, filtering, and protecting us from the countless substances we encounter each day. And here is the truth that often surprises people. The liver doesn't simply handle alcohol or unhealthy food. It has to manage nearly everything you consume, breathe, and even absorb through your skin. Over time, this responsibility can become overwhelming, especially in modern lifestyles filled with processed foods, environmental toxins, and constant stress. Picture the average week for many people in the United States. Fast food picked up after a long workday, sweetened coffee drinks to stay awake, processed snacks between meetings, a drink or two with friends on Friday night, a pain reliever for the headache that follows. Each one of these may seem ordinary, even harmless when viewed in isolation. But together, they create a never-ending stream of work for the liver. The more it struggles to keep up, the more signs begin to appear in your body. Fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, difficulty concentrating, a sense of heaviness that seems to linger no matter how much you exercise. These are not random. They are clues. But here's where it gets even more surprising. The liver is not just about digestion or detoxification. It is also deeply connected to how you feel emotionally and mentally. When the liver becomes overloaded, it doesn't just affect your body. It affects your mood, your focus, and even your motivation. That foggy-headed feeling after a big, heavy meal? That drained sensation after a weekend of indulgence? These are direct reflections of the liver struggling to keep things balanced. And while many people brush them off as normal, they don't have to be. The consequences of ignoring these signals go beyond discomfort. When the liver is overloaded, it starts to fall behind in its duties. Instead of filtering toxins efficiently, it allows buildup to remain longer in your system. Instead of converting nutrients into usable energy smoothly, it slows the process, leaving you feeling sluggish. The ripple effect spreads, digestion slows, metabolism weakens, and the brain feels cloudy. Suddenly, everyday life feels harder than it should. The shocking part is that most people never connect these dots. They treat each symptom individually without realizing there is a common root. The good news is that awareness is the first step toward change. The liver is incredibly resilient and has a unique ability to regenerate if given the right conditions. That means you don't need drastic measures or complicated plans. What you do need is to recognize the daily habits that are quietly wearing it down. For example, diets high in processed sugar and refined fats, frequent use of alcohol, and excessive reliance on over-the-counter medications all put pressure on the liver. Add to this the environmental pollutants we breathe in daily, and the picture becomes clearer. This organ is working overtime, often without enough support. What makes this even more urgent is how cultural norms have made these habits feel completely ordinary. Drinking soda with meals, eating fried foods on the go, using convenient snacks to replace balanced meals, these have all become so common that we forget their impact. We're used to treating fatigue with caffeine and brain fog with another sugary boost, but this only pushes the liver further into overdrive. Imagine forcing a tired worker to keep going without rest. It can't last forever without consequences. This is why paying attention matters. By understanding the liver's burden, you can begin to make small but powerful changes that reduce its load and restore balance. Drinking more water, choosing whole foods, limiting alcohol, and managing stress are not just health tips. They are lifelines for one of the body's most essential systems. Each choice is a chance to lighten the load and help your liver do what it was designed to do. Keep you energized, clear-headed, and strong. And here's the part you need to remember. The next insight will reveal one of the most overlooked yet powerful signals your body sends when the liver is struggling. Missing this could not only limit the results you hope to see, but it could also lead to uncomfortable side effects that most people never see coming. That's why it's so important to stay with me and not ignore what comes next. Think for a moment about how your body communicates with you. It doesn't use words, but it does have a powerful language: symptoms. When the liver becomes overworked, it doesn't simply stop functioning overnight. Instead, it begins to send gentle, yet increasingly noticeable, signals. Fatigue that lingers even after what should be enough rest. A heavy feeling after meals, as if digestion takes longer than it should. A foggy mind that makes it difficult to recall names, focus on tasks, or simply feel sharp and present. These are not coincidences. They are the early warning lights of your internal engine. And while many people accept these experiences as a normal part of daily life, the truth is that they often point to something deeper. But what's even more surprising is how many of these signs show up in ways people least expect. For example, the skin, our largest organ, often becomes a canvas for what is happening internally. Rashes, unexplained itching, breakouts, or dullness in the skin can reflect the burden the liver is carrying. When the liver struggles to process toxins effectively, the body often finds other outlets, and the skin is one of them. You may have noticed that after periods of indulgence, like holiday seasons filled with heavy meals and sugary treats, not only does energy drop, but skin appearance changes too. This is not just coincidence. It is your body's way of waving a flag, asking for support. Another signal lies in digestion. A healthy liver works hand in hand with the digestive system, helping to break down fats and regulate metabolism. But when it is overwhelmed, digestion becomes sluggish. That bloated feeling after eating, the discomfort from greasy foods, or even irregular bowel movements can all trace back to liver function. Many people blame these issues on stress or on eating too quickly, but when they become frequent, it is often a sign that the liver is not keeping up with its crucial tasks. Even mood and motivation can be linked to the liver's state. When toxins build up and nutrients are not processed efficiently, the brain feels the effect. Irritability, low motivation, and difficulty focusing are more than emotional responses. They are physical reflections of imbalance. Imagine starting the day already feeling drained and distracted. Over time, this doesn't just affect your health. It touches relationships, productivity, and overall quality of life. Recognizing this connection is empowering, because it means that by supporting the liver, you are also supporting mental clarity and emotional well-being. These signals might sound familiar, and for good reason. They are common, but common does not mean normal. Just because many people experience brain fog, skin issues, or digestive discomfort doesn't mean they are inevitable. Too often, society teaches us to treat each of these individually. Creams for skin problems, supplements for energy, pills for digestion. But unless the underlying cause is addressed, the relief is temporary. This is why understanding the liver's role is such a powerful step toward lasting health. Now, here is something that can truly change the way you think about your daily experiences. The earlier you notice and act on these signals, the more effectively you can restore balance. Your body is constantly working to heal itself, and the liver in particular has an amazing ability to recover if given the right conditions. Supporting it before the damage becomes more serious can mean the difference between temporary discomfort and long-term well-being. Think about how transformative it could be to interpret fatigue not as a permanent condition, but as a message. To see brain fog not as a sign of aging, but as a signal that your body wants balance. To notice skin flare-ups not as random, but as a clue pointing back to your internal health. By shifting your perspective, you can take proactive steps that go far beyond short-term fixes. Here's the key takeaway. Ignoring these signs may not only delay progress, but could allow imbalances to grow more severe over time. The body is speaking. You only need to learn how to listen. And when you listen, you can respond with habits and choices that empower you instead of drain you. This is why paying attention now is so important. The next piece of insight will bring you even closer to understanding this intricate connection between body and mind. It will reveal how the liver's struggle doesn't just shape physical signals, but also deeply influences your clarity, focus, and emotional state. Overlooking this could limit the progress you want to achieve and could also invite consequences you'd rather avoid. That's why the next step is one of the most important to hear. It may be surprising to think that the state of your liver has as much to do with your mental clarity and mood as it does with digestion. But the truth is, the liver's role goes far beyond breaking down nutrients or filtering substances. It directly impacts the way your brain functions. When this vital organ is under stress, its ripple effects extend into your thoughts, emotions, and energy levels in ways you may never have considered. Imagine your liver as a gatekeeper, deciding what enters your bloodstream and ultimately nourishes your cells. When it functions well, the blood that reaches your brain is clean, rich with nutrients, and supportive of clear, steady mental function. But when the liver becomes overloaded, toxins linger longer in the system. Instead of being efficiently filtered out, they circulate, influencing not only how your body feels, but how your mind operates. That foggy-headed sensation, the struggle to concentrate, and even swings in mood are all reflections of this imbalance. Think about times you may have indulged in heavy, greasy meals or enjoyed more alcohol than usual. The next day, it's not just your stomach that feels heavy. You may find yourself less focused, more irritable, and slower to process information. This isn't just in your imagination. It is your body demonstrating how closely linked liver function and brain performance are. When the liver has to divert more energy toward managing overload, less energy is available for creating the clarity and balance you rely on in daily life. Science has shown that neurotransmitters, the chemicals responsible for mood, motivation, and focus, are influenced by the state of your internal systems. If the liver is weighed down, the balance of these chemicals can be disrupted. This is why people sometimes experience not just physical fatigue, but also emotional exhaustion or irritability. It's not simply stress or lack of willpower. It is the body's way of expressing that something deeper needs attention. This connection is crucial because it changes the way we see health. Supporting your liver isn't just about physical wellness. It's about mental and emotional well-being, too. By making choices that reduce the liver's burden, you are also giving your brain the foundation it needs for sharper memory, quicker focus, and steadier mood. Small, consistent actions such as staying hydrated, eating more whole foods, and reducing processed sugar not only ease the liver's workload, but also bring noticeable changes in mental performance. What's powerful about this knowledge is that it gives you agency. Instead of feeling trapped by cycles of low energy and mental fog, you can make daily decisions that bring both your body and mind back into alignment. Each choice is like cleaning a window, removing the smudges so more light can shine through. And when you begin to feel that clarity, the motivation to continue grows naturally. This is not about striving for perfection. No one avoids every indulgence or every stressful moment. But by being aware of how interconnected your systems are, you begin to see the value in balance. A single healthy choice doesn't just ease the liver, it also sharpens the mind. Over time, these choices build into a noticeable shift: less fog, more focus, steadier emotions. It is a cycle of improvement that starts with awareness and continues with action. So next time you feel weighed down mentally, ask yourself if your body is trying to communicate. That lack of focus, that heaviness of thought, may be less about external stress and more about an internal imbalance. And the good news is, your body is capable of incredible recovery once you support it in the right way. The liver, with its remarkable ability to regenerate, is waiting for your help. And here's what matters most. If this connection between liver and mind is ignored, it won't just stall your progress, it can quietly magnify other issues over time. That's why the insight to come is among the most important, because it will reveal how small habits woven into your daily life can either support your liver or keep it in constant struggle. Missing that understanding could not only block your progress, but also create setbacks you don't want to face. By now, you've seen how the liver doesn't just influence digestion, but also energy, focus, mood, and even the clarity of your thoughts. And the powerful part of this understanding is that it brings the focus back to daily choices. Habits that can either add weight to your liver's workload or help it breathe easier. What might surprise you is how much of this burden is created not by extreme actions, but by the small, ordinary patterns of everyday life. The good news is that small, intentional changes can just as easily lighten that burden and create a path toward more vitality. Think about how most of us live in fast-paced environments, where convenience often outweighs careful choice. It's easy to reach for processed meals, sugary snacks, or drinks that offer a quick burst of energy. But these foods demand extra effort from the liver, whether through metabolizing refined sugars, handling excess unhealthy fats, or processing artificial ingredients. Over time, these demands add up. But here's the empowering part. When you swap even one of those processed meals for a fresh, whole food option, you're immediately giving your liver relief. Imagine replacing soda with water or tea, or choosing a plate filled with colorful vegetables instead of deep-fried food. These are not grand, impossible gestures. They are realistic shifts that, practiced consistently, free the liver from unnecessary strain. Hydration is another overlooked ally. The liver depends on water to help flush out waste products efficiently. Yet, so many people walk through life mildly dehydrated without even realizing it. The habit of sipping water regularly throughout the day can transform how effectively your liver performs. Think about how washing a dirty dish is far easier with plenty of clean water than with a few drops. Your liver functions similarly, and the difference is felt in clearer energy and smoother digestion. Alcohol is another factor. While an occasional glass of wine or a drink with friends can be part of life, frequent alcohol consumption adds an extra layer of stress to the liver. Reducing alcohol intake, even slightly, can make a profound difference in how your body feels day to day. This isn't about eliminating joy or social connection. It's about balance. Being intentional about when and how much you drink gives your liver the space to recover and function at its best. Another critical piece is movement. Exercise helps circulation, encourages detoxification, and improves the body's use of nutrients. A brisk walk, a short bike ride, or a gentle yoga session are not just good for muscles. They directly support the liver. When the body moves, blood flows more freely, carrying nutrients and oxygen where they're needed most, while helping the liver filter more efficiently. Think of exercise not as a punishment for the body, but as a gift for your internal systems. And let's not forget the importance of managing stress. Stress hormones, when constantly elevated, create a chemical environment that puts additional pressure on the liver. Practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, or simply spending time outdoors can lower these stress signals and lighten the liver's load. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even 5 minutes of calm breathing or a walk in fresh air can make a noticeable difference over time. The surprising truth is that these small shifts compound powerfully. Drinking more water, eating more whole foods, limiting alcohol, moving your body, and finding ways to reduce stress may sound simple, but combined, they create an environment where the liver thrives. And when the liver thrives, your whole body responds. Energy lifts, thinking clears, and the sense of heaviness begins to dissolve. This is the body's natural design. When you support it, it rewards you. The reason this matters so much is because ignoring these habits doesn't just slow progress, it can quietly undo the benefits of other steps you might be taking. You could be trying a new supplement or focusing on one area of health, but if these daily choices continue to weigh the liver down, results will be limited. It is like trying to sail with the anchor still in the water. You may move, but not nearly as freely as you could. That is why the next step is so critical. Because even if you practice these positive habits without knowing the right way to prepare and use certain natural supports, you could not only miss the benefits, but potentially cause setbacks. The insight to come is one of the most essential for ensuring safety and effectiveness, and ignoring it could bring consequences you would rather avoid. You've seen how daily habits play a crucial role in either burdening or supporting the liver, but here lies the part most people overlook. How you prepare and use natural supports can determine whether they help or hinder your progress. This is where knowledge becomes power. It's not just about knowing what's good for the liver, but about understanding how to integrate it safely and effectively into your life. Take, for example, foods like leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and citrus fruits. These are widely celebrated for their liver-supporting properties, but their real power comes from how consistently and thoughtfully they are prepared. A salad made with fresh spinach, arugula, or kale offers enzymes and antioxidants that ease the liver's workload. Lightly steaming broccoli or Brussels sprouts preserves compounds that stimulate natural detoxification pathways. Squeezing fresh lemon into warm water in the morning can give the body a gentle, hydrating boost, setting the tone for smoother liver function throughout the day. These are not exotic remedies. They are everyday choices with extraordinary potential when used the right way. The same is true for herbal infusions. Something as simple as a warm cup of dandelion root tea or milk thistle tea, when consumed in moderation, can offer gentle support for liver health. But here is the crucial part. Quantity and frequency matter. More is not always better. A balanced approach is key because the liver doesn't need overwhelming interventions. It thrives on consistent, mindful support. Drinking such teas occasionally, paired with a nourishing diet, can create a steady rhythm that encourages the liver's natural resilience. This brings us to the bonus I promised at the very beginning, an often overlooked but highly effective way to multiply the benefits of supporting your liver: timing. Many people focus on what they consume but ignore when they consume it. Allowing the body longer breaks between meals, often called mindful fasting, or simply avoiding constant snacking, gives the liver much-needed time to rest and reset. Think about it. When the liver isn't constantly processing food, it can focus energy on repair and detoxification. Something as simple as finishing your last meal a bit earlier in the evening and avoiding late-night snacking can make a profound difference in how refreshed you feel the next morning. What's inspiring is how these practices combine. Fresh foods, hydration, balanced herbal teas, and mindful timing weave together to create a lifestyle that empowers your liver to do what it does best. The effects ripple outward, energy becomes steadier, thinking becomes clearer, and that sense of heaviness lifts. It's not about perfection, it's about creating patterns that allow your body's natural intelligence to shine. And while we've spoken of the risks of ignoring these practices, let's focus for a moment on the possibilities. Imagine waking up feeling lighter, more energized, with a clear head ready to take on the day. Imagine seeing your skin reflect that internal balance with more vitality. These are not distant dreams. They are outcomes that come from small, consistent actions. The key is to approach them with care, respect for your body, and an understanding that balance is more powerful than extremes. This is why sharing knowledge matters. Each person who learns how to better support their liver not only transforms their own health, but can inspire those around them to make similar changes. When we share tools that improve vitality, we multiply their impact in families, communities, and beyond. So let this message serve as both guidance and inspiration. Your body is speaking, your liver is working tirelessly, and now you have the understanding to support it in ways that are safe, natural, and effective. Take these steps to heart, and you'll not only feel the difference, you'll embody the difference. And if this journey has inspired you, take a moment to pass it on. Share this knowledge, encourage others to explore their own habits, and become part of a growing circle of awareness and vitality. Together, we can shift the narrative from ignoring symptoms to embracing the body's signals as invitations to thrive.